Hi, my name is Thomas Johnson, and I'm the founder and CEO of GetUpNGetFit Wellness and Fitness Coaching Concierge. I'm also a C-suite advisor and investor, and you're listening to How May I Serve You, where I'm constantly on the quest to surround myself with the best coaches while learning how to better serve our executive clientele by asking them, How may I serve you? Today's show is sponsored by Get Up and Get Fit. And Get Up and Get Fit will be providing students with textbooks and school supplies in Cambodia in honor of our guest today, as well as our philanthropic mission to impact at least 50,000 people per year. And today's guest is Lauren. Lauren, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Thomas.
Awesome. So Lauren Logan is an executive business coach and fundraising consultant serving individual executives and teams in the not-for-profit, small business, and professional sectors. What matters most to Lauren is helping others surface and activate the incredible resources for good in the world, one individual, group, or organization at a time. Ooh, Lauren, that sounds amazing right there.
It gives me personal joy to be able to do this. I had
Okay.
a varied career. I spent a bunch of years in the apparel business, first in buying, then in sales,
Okay.
then was lured by my church into fundraising when they asked me to chair a phase of its capital campaign, began to see the similarities, and then went on to have a wonderful career in professional fundraising. So the ability to be able to help both business people and not-for-profit people find that good, find that extra something that is inside you and them, that it creates joy. So I'm really privileged to do it.
That's incredible right there. You're emerging to two, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So Lauren, I want you to give us some information about yourself. Okay. Tell us your origin story. How did you get started in the first place?
Well, started. Back when I was a teen, this was long before you were born, Thomas. I wanted to be a professional ballet dancer.
Wow.
And I worked at it. I was part of a local company. I performed, and then came to the realization one day that I was not going to be the prima ballerina of the New York City Ballet. So I decided to pursue my second love, which was fashion. And then went on to that wonderful career in the apparel business. So that's how I got my start. But I do think one of the things about being in, whether it's a sport or something like ballet, it gives you discipline. And it's something you do every day. And so I have been able to lean on that early discipline at times in my life when things were going every which way.
Okay. Yeah, I find that after people who were athletes previously, whether collegiate or high school, even professional, they make great business professionals. They make great CEOs, great leaders, and the discipline is so critical. And I'm glad you were able to lean on that.
Yes.
So why did you get into coaching, and who do you coach, Lauren?
I got into coaching because it seemed like a perfect avenue to be able to transfer and help transfer my expertise in both the business world and not-for-profit world to other people, but at the same time, not in the aspect of giving advice, but in the aspect of bringing out what is already inside them, and maybe helping guide them to maximize it. I love that part of what I do.
Okay. You sound like an amazing coach, because a coach job is to guide their clientele, right? Not to push them, not to really tell them what to do, but just to guide them. So that's great.
Well,
So
I would,
go ahead.
I would not be a good coach for someone who wants someone to say, Lauren, do this, Lauren, do that. No, I'm going to keep asking you questions until that great thing comes out.
There you go. So I know there are so many different styles of coaching, right? And there's so many different coaches out there. How would you articulate your style of coaching?
I have a formalized approach.
Okay.
And I will tell you about that formalized approach, that it is completely unique to my client. Because even though we might be reading some material and interacting based on that material, what we do and the order in which we do it and the way we address it is completely related to my client's ultimate goals. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's very customized.
It's completely customized.
There you go. Lauren, where do you hail from? Where are you currently? Where were you born?
Today, as we're speaking, Thomas, I am near Camp Hill, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and I've been here pretty much on, just a little couple times off. I do go back to New York City regularly, but I've lived here since April of last year. It was a little bit of an easier place to be. My wonderful city was besieged by the pandemic, and so I have been here. I have family close by, and it's been great. But do I miss New York City? Yes.
There's no
I
place.
love both places. So.
Yeah, there's no place like the concrete jungle, right?
You got that right.
All right. So if someone was looking for a coach, what traits would you advise to look for in their search?
The biggest one, and it's probably obvious, is trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I offer at least one complimentary session. Sometimes it takes two. You don't develop trust by snapping your fingers. What kind of questions does the person ask? How do you feel around them? You and I both know, Thomas, when you begin to develop trust with someone, it's either a yay or nay in the pit of your, and you don't question it. And there are some people that you're crazy about immediately, and other people you need to get to know. So yes, I search for that trust. Without it, do not move forward.
Yes, trust. So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate for a second, okay? We both know that it takes time to build up trust. So I know you provide like a few nurturing sessions, right? How long does it typically take your clientele um, until they realize you are the right fit for them? It's average.
And I will base this on my experience.
Mm-hmm.
The people who I interact with, oftentimes, Thomas, they're a little bit sold before, like they're a little bit convinced before they even meet me,
Okay.
because a business colleague referred them, or they saw someone acting differently at work. They saw someone having positive change, and they're like, "What happened?" And my name was passed. So that's what happens a lot of the time when
Okay.
it's a little bit more new. Maybe they've seen a video of me, or maybe they've seen a post or something like that.
Okay.
They come with a little bit of knowledge. They know that I've had a varied career.
Mm-hmm.
So people who would be interested in taking their success from their existing career and pushing it towards their new career,
Mm-hmm.
they would want to talk with somebody like me.
Got it.
That's definitely an in. People on my fundraising side, we didn't talk about the fact that I still do take on nonprofit fundraising projects.
Okay.
But so people who are interested in the not-for-profit world, or particularly in fundraising, they would be interested. And then the other part would be people who need to do sales. They've gotten so far and they want to triple or grow their business 5 times. Those would be 3 categories people might come to me.
Oh, okay. So you seem like you're like the Jill of all trades. That's
Well,
amazing right there.
not really. I've just been around for a long time.
So you are experienced. Let's put it that way. You are experienced. All right. So I want you to give me a 2 to 3 minute success story, right? Share with us a story that a client um, a client, was so ecstatic in their experience with you that their life have changed for the better, right? I want to hear one of those stories.
Okay. A young business owner out of Brooklyn had some initial really good success. I'm talking about a very young business
Okay.
owner, below 30, and had some great success. Was even part of a wonderful, it's a big investment company, and they have a program for entrepreneurs and small business owners that they bring you in and they coach you. So he was actually accepted for that program. Had gone through the program. The last thing they say to him as they, wave goodbye and give him a medal or something is, you need to find yourself a business coach. He starts looking, we interact, and we connect. And his reaction to the material that we went over was nothing short of amazing. I mean, he literally said to me, "This is changing me. I'm out. I'm about to write a contract, or I'm negotiating, or I'm talking for the first time with a potential customer, and the material is going through my head, and I'm thinking about these incredible quotes." And it was informing him in such a positive way that he made some dramatic changes and some growth in his business during the time that we coached. And to this day, we talk regularly.
That's amazing right there. So he basically did the work.
He did the work. And that's another thing I'll say. If you're thinking about coaching and you're not willing to invest yourself in it, save your money. It takes it all. It takes it all. And if you do, you can expect fantastic results.
Yeah, that's a great advice right there, because you have to be willing to do the work. You can expect things to be handed to you on a silver platter, right? So are you currently working on any new projects that you would like to share with us?
I'm actually working on a couple new things. I'm working with a small group. It's like a subgroup of a networking group I'm in New York.
Okay.
New York and Manhattan and Long Island, called Adrian's Network. And a subgroup of us are all minority women business exchange owners. We've been certified with that designation. Okay. And so we've gotten together and we're playing off one another's strengths to be able to work with the city and the state to gain contracts that will in which we'll be able to use our expertise. So that's my little side project. I'm not quite sure where it's headed, but we have some incredible experience in this group that we would love to share with the city and states.
It takes a team, right? There's a saying: if you want to go someplace fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go with the team. Hopefully I'm not butchering the saying.
Oh no, that was our sentiment. We were like, each one of us individually could struggle against the big New York City bureaucracy, or we could band together and start working together.
Okay, that's incredible right there. So right now, how far along are you with solidifying some contracts? Are you in the beginning stage, the middle, towards the end?
We're at the beginning. Actually, we just hired an intern.
Okay.
Who is going to help us. Some of the work that needs to be done is incredibly time consuming and a little bit nitty gritty. It's registering at sites and making sure about requests for proposals and that kind of thing. And so we've hired an intern, a very excited intern who is going to help all 10 of our businesses. So
that's great right there.
Yeah.
Bringing on board the support system, the support team.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I know you have a plethora of experience, right? You have a wealth of knowledge. So far in your career, right? Where are you right now in your career? Like, do you feel that you're in the middle? You're nearing towards the end? where do you feel you're at in your career?
Spent a couple of decades in the apparel business,
Mm-hmm.
spent a little over a decade as a professional fundraiser. And so I am now 5 years into my third career, which is executive business coaching, fundraising, consulting. And in some ways, Thomas, I feel like I'm still just getting started.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got a long road ahead. I've got some I've got some goals I want to meet, and most important to me now is being able to help the number of people that I can.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great right there. So if you're in the perfect world, what would your ideal situation look like as an executive coach, right? How many clientele we like to work with? You've already shared with us the type of clientele you work with, but in an ideal world, right? A perfect world, I should say. What would it look like?
It's interesting. That has changed in the
Really?
5 years. When I became certified, I thought, because of the people that I interacted with during my professional fundraising,
Mm-hmm.
CEOs, medical directors, senior pastor, I thought that I would be working exclusively with C-suite people. Only to find out that, yes, I do work with C-suite people, but I also work with mid-level executives who might come home on a Wednesday, 20 years into their career, and take a look in that bathroom mirror and go, "Oh, I don't want to do this," or "Oh, why was I passed over for that promotion again?"
Mm.
That kind of frustration. And then I had the completely unexpected opportunity a year or so ago to work with a college graduate who had gotten a great internship. It was about to turn into a full-time position, and everything stops. Hiring freeze, the pandemic, the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just 3 snippets of people I actually work with. And I guess in my ideal world, there would be that variety, because I think it brings out different things. I coach a little bit differently, and it keeps me on my toes.
I like that.
I like
that. You sound like an athlete. You sound like an athlete because they like to be challenged, right?
Yeah.
You like to learn.
And if you live in a big city, you always want to, if you're standing waiting for the light, when the light turns green, you want to be on your forward foot. You want to be going forward.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about coaching.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. So Lauren, if someone were to inquire about your services or just want to connect with you, where can they find you?
They could call me. I'm using my signature in my logo has both my office and my cell. My cell is the best number, and it's 917-689-9075. Or they could email me. If email is easier for you, that's fine. And it's Lauren, Lauren, at, this is so long, Orion, Orion, developmentassociates.com.
There you go. That's awesome right there. So Lauren, thank you for coming on today. And I also like to thank all our listeners or our guests for lending us their eyeballs and their ears.
Yeah.
So last but not least, Lauren, I'm going to ask you this final question. How may I serve you?
I'm glad you asked it, because it's the reason I'm on your show. It's so touched me. Because if that's our attitude going out into the world, we can't help but find success. If that's our "how may I serve you" is our attitude, I just love everything about that. How you can serve me is, honestly, for having invited me on your show, you have already done so, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Wow. Thanks for coming through. And I love your energy. I love your vibe, everything about you, Lauren. Okay, so don't ever change.
Thank you.
So once again, this is your host, Thomas Johnson, and tune in for next week's episode on How May I Serve You. Take care and be well.